today we will go through Eastern Europe part 2, where we can representative for the Poland, Slovakia, and also Hungary. The team here under Lucia and will sharing with us the presentation and as well the beautiful of the area. And this is also just reminding us we will have another session tomorrow regarding to Balkan, where we will focus on Croatia and also the area border. And for next week, to make it a little bit changing and also more interesting, we also connect to our supplier and also colleagues from all the area except European. So for next week to be like a little bit changing regarding to the motivation and also for another destination, we would also bring Azerbaijan, Georgia, and also Uzbekistan to present to you all at a little bit changing. As well, we also connect and also may invite you for another session for South America, where we can go to Peru, Brazil, and also the other destination nearby. For our European, we will get back one again for upcoming week. We start in France, UK, Scotland, Iceland, Mono Switzerland, and also Mono Germany. So with that schedule, we may reschedule the Iberia area where Spain and Portugal. We will delay a little bit later on end of July. And also we will see the feedback from all of you all to see whether you want to go to another part of Balkans, where we will go very deeply, go through Albania, Montenegro, Macedonia, and also Bulgaria. So let's see the response from our survey and also feedback from all of you, so that we can rearrange and maybe arrange more for all other destinations. So as sharing, even we stay in the lockdown situation, or maybe some border will be open soon, but at least we can travel around the world with our workshop. And with that, I don't want to waste more for your time because of the technical visits, or maybe the schedule that will schedule very differently today on Wednesday. So with that, I would like to invite Lucia and the team to be start to present the beautiful destination in Eastern Europe area. Thank you, Lucia.
Hi, everyone. So welcome back. I believe I see some of the names very familiar from yesterday. So you know me already, those of you who were joining our Czech and Austrian webinar yesterday. For those who did not, my name is Lucia. I am in charge of the Central Europe Destination Services that involves Czech Republic, Slovakia, and Hungary. Today we will also present Poland on the top of two destinations, Slovakia and Hungary. We have got today here Kristina Lasko, who is in charge of the hotels procurement in Slovakia and in Hungary. And then we also have got our colleagues from Poland, Liliana and Anna, who will present the Polish hotels and then services. We will start, yesterday actually we started at the north, so we went from Czech Republic to Austria to the south, and today we do it the opposite way. So we will start in Hungary and then we will continue, or we will travel through Slovakia and we will finish with Poland. In the end, we will also have some Q&A, so if you have got some questions on us, either feel free to send it in a chat, or then you can keep it for later and we will try to reply as much as we can, and hopefully we know everything. So I will hand over the word to Kristina, who will tell you something about the hotels in Hungary, and then I will continue with the destinations for Hungary. So Kristina, you have a word. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome everybody to the webinar. Let me share the screen. I will give you a very short presentation on the hotel site. Can you see my screen? Great. So, Eastern Europe was also affected by the COVID situation. However, luckily the number of infections was pretty low in the whole area. In Hungary especially, we didn't have like a fixed governmental regulation for the hotels, so it was not compulsory to close the hotels. It was hotels' own decision if they keep operating or if they cease the operation because of the pandemic. For this reason, we don't have a fixed opening date for the hotels either, because it depends on how the borders are opening, how the flights are operating again, how the economic situation is developing. However, I have to say that countryside started the reopening already at the end of May, so more and more hotels are opening up, and luckily in Budapest it started as well. However, we expect that many of the hotels will delay the reopening until the autumn time. In terms of the hygienic measures, please be assured that it's taken very seriously by all the hotel properties. We don't have a governmental regulation. The regulations are prepared chain by chain. So we are very happy to provide you with any information you may need for your clients. The big question mark in terms of the hotel part will be the breakfast, because we don't know at the moment yet if the buffet breakfast will be available in order to keep the distancing and to avoid too much crowd in the restaurants. So we are looking at various options hotel by hotel. So maybe this is something we need to recheck with the groups once we have them operating. In terms of the regular restaurants, they are open both inside and outside, and actually more and more regulations are lifted. So we are close to getting back to kind of normal operation. In terms of the costs, there were some price reductions for 2020 from the hotels. However, we also have to consider that because of the hygienic measures, they have some increased costs on the cleaning, and they need more staff to keep the distancing and to keep up with this increased cleaning methods. I included a very small chart in the bottom where you can see that we had a lot of events planned for 2020 in Budapest. These are mostly sports events and also some medical conferences. Most of them have been cancelled or postponed for next year, which means that we will have still many events in 2021 in Budapest. And I also added one in orange, which will be a huge bird hunting and nature expo where they are expecting thousands of people to participate. So this means that the demand will be still quite high for Budapest. In terms of the hotels, I would like to show you a few properties which are our key partners and where some major renovations happened. So the first one is Montage Fashion Hotel. You may remember this property, which was called in the past as Atlas City Hotel. It was a 3-star basic property. Now it's fully renovated to 4-star category. Everything was changed and upgraded. So it looks much nicer, I believe, and it's very much suitable for the clients. It's more for the series and less for the big ad hoc groups because the hotel is fairly small. However, they have enough number of twin rooms so they can host
Hi,
the
Christina,
series.
sorry
Yes.
for the stop. Can you run the presentation so that the viewer can see a little bit bigger trees from your presentation? Can you click on the screen?
Yeah, sure,
on the
sorry.
present? Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go. Thank you.
Thank you. The next hotel I would like to present to you is Novotel City, which is our long-term partner located close to the city center. Basically, we can use this hotel both for series and also big ad hoc groups. They have a lot of twin rooms. They have huge meeting capacities as well. And also they provide us great parking facilities for the big groups. The last property on this picture part is Mercure Budapest Castle Hill. Maybe you remember this hotel as well. In the past it was called Mercure Buda and it was a quite basic 4-star hotel. Again, everything was fully renovated, so now it's a very nice 4-star property located right next to the underground, so very easy access to the city center. In case you are requesting a very, very centrally located hotel, then Mercure Corona is our key partner. So we can use them very much as well. They have a lot of rooms located very close to the sites, a lot of facilities in the area as well. So we can use them both for series and bigger ad hoc groups too. In case of a budget request, I would suggest Ibis City South, which was also renovated 3 years ago totally. So it looks much better than before. It's also a fairly small hotel, so it's more for the series and less for the big ad hoc groups. It's also right next to the underground, so easy access to the city center in case the clients have a free time. And if you're talking about Budapest, we cannot forget the spa option. So I would like to present 2 spa hotels as well. Actually, it's 3 in total because there are 2 hotels on Margaret Island located next to each other. I'm listing here the total room numbers for the 2 hotels. So it's nearly 500 rooms in a very nice area surrounded by nature. Basically, it's a pedestrian island. There is still public transport, but cars cannot run on this area. The coaches can access, of course, the hotels. So it's a very nice, quiet location. And we have 2 hotels over there. It's suitable both for the series and the bigger MICE groups as well because of the big room count. The other property is located also nearby on the Buda side, which is the Aquincum Hotel. They also have a huge spa facility, and they have also a sufficient number of rooms also for series and bigger ad hoc groups as well. I would like to give just a very quick update on some new openings which would be interesting for group business. One of them is Up Hotel Budapest, which will be a 4-star property on Andrássy Avenue. So again, very central location. It's a 4-star hotel and it will be like super high-tech, very modern with a lot of 21st century features. And they are planning to open in August. Of course, it depends on the COVID situation as well, if they can go ahead with this opening date or may have to revise it for a bit later. The other property is a very upscale luxury hotel, which is again very centrally located. It's opening at the middle of October, and they will be very much like a very classical hotel with a big cafe, also with some nice restaurant, which is themed around the local specialties. So they can be used as well, even though the number of twin rooms will be here a bit more limited. And if you're talking about Hungary, I also would like to speak a little bit about the countryside as well. Budapest is called the spice of Europe, but I think we should not forget about other possible cities. Hungary is much more than Budapest, and I'm sure Lucia will give you some very nice excursion ideas and itinerary suggestions outside Budapest as well. Here I would like to highlight just one hotel. The spa location Hévíz is very, very popular in Hungary, which is close to the Balaton area. They have this special lake with the thermal water. However, in case the group has a bit more like limited budget, then I would suggest to place them in Zalakaros, which is like 30 kilometers away. So it's very easy access. They are also connected with a huge spa facility, as you can see on the left picture. And they have both indoor and outdoor facilities as well. Of course, the outdoor facility is open only during spring until the autumn, so it's not available during the winter time. And with this hotel, we can also fulfill maybe some lower budgeted requests as well. This is all for the Hungarian hotel part. In case of any questions, as Lucia said, please let us know. And now I give the word back to Lucia for the land services.
Thank you very much. So just let me share my screen. So welcome to Hungary. Well, regarding the COVID situation, I would like to point out that, and this will be also for Slovakia, the countries have done really well. The face masks were compulsory basically right after the borders closed in March. So the situation got under control quite quickly, and now we are slowly recovering. We have got already some of the flights back. There are the flights into the region by Qatar already, in Prague from 7th of June, and from 20th of June it will be also from Budapest or to Budapest by Qatar. Emirates should come back on the 1st of July. So we hope that now EU will allow the travel also within non-Schengen area, at least from the green countries that I know that some of your countries are already on a green list, and we will be able to bring the groups as quickly as possible. And now if you are coming to Budapest, that is the capital and also the most popular probably place in Hungary, definitely the place you should visit. We also call it the Queen of Danube River. It is very famous for the thermal spa. Again, yesterday I was mentioning that if you are coming to Czech Republic, you would need to travel from spa for spa experience, but you don't have to travel away from Budapest, because you have got really amazing spas in the city center already. Then also it is very good to point out that it has got the second largest synagogue and the third largest parliament in the world. So definitely sites you should not miss. Definitely you should not miss the cruising on the river of Danube, because in my opinion, again, if you have got the evening cruise on Budapest with all the lights that are coming from Hungarian monuments, it is something you probably don't have elsewhere in Europe. So definitely do come, and if you will be coming, then do not stay only in Budapest, but also continue further. And then Hungary is very famous for wine, and we can provide you some wine experience definitely. The most popular region for wine is Tokaj, which is about 4 hours away, I would say, by bus. So if you are going to Tokaj region because of this specific sweet heavy wine, in such case I would suggest to stay overnight somewhere in Miskolc area. But if you do not have that time and you only want to go somewhere for a half day, then Etyék is your choice. This is about 1 hour away from Budapest, and you can experience the agriculture here. So if you are coming in the right season, you will be able to see how the vineyards, how the wine is grown, and then also we can show you how the wine is stored in the cellars, and of course you can experience some wine tasting as well. Again, as I have mentioned, about 1 hour away, so this is very easy to fit everything to fit into 4 hours, maximum 5 hours of sightseeing outside of Budapest. Then also there is a lot of history around Central Europe, and about 1 hour away from Budapest we have got a small village or a small town called Visegrad. This is the place where you can experience the night tournament in its full glow, as you can see on a picture on the right. It is actually located in one old castle in the tower of Solomon Tower of the Visegrad Castle. The castle is on the left side, and this tournament is about 45 minutes long, and it's very interactive. So actually they will choose the king and the queen from the people joining the tournament, and they will experience it really firsthand. They will see how the whole tournament, the night tournament, was taking place in the past, how they were killing each other, because it was part of the tournament, because the strongest wins, of course. So really unique experience, but you don't have that people anymore this time, of course. Then if you are thinking of the lunch in the area, yes, we can provide it. We have got a large capacity of the restaurant there, and here you will also be able to experience the clothing. So while the group is having the dinner, they can borrow the historical clothing, and they can take the pictures in the clothing. Then horses. Again, horses is something that Hungary is very famous for. So about 1 hour away from Budapest, you have got a huge farm called Puszta. It is located very nearby the Gödöllő Castle, which is again one very beautiful castle. So you can join this excursion together with a visit of the castle and then continue to this Puszta for either just the lunch and to experience the horse show that is actually shown by the top breeders in Hungary, and these guys are very well famous around the world in the field of horses. But also, if you have got longer time or you have got the incentive group, then you also can experience Puszta Olympics. So these are the sporty events, but connected to agriculture. So let's say you will be throwing some balls into the buckets, or you will be running around the dry hay. So there are many possibilities from what you can choose. So it all depends on your time, how much time you have. If you are considering only the horse show, in such case, I would suggest to do it as a 4 hours journey, including the travel. Or if you have got a full day, then yes, it is also recommended to connect the Gödöllő Castle and some fun directly at this venue. So if we are talking about the themes, then the wine, as I've already mentioned, either for half day or for overnight. Then of course Christmas markets. Again, the Christmas markets by St. Stephen's Cathedral is something very unforgettable, but also UNESCO sites. Hungary has got 7 UNESCO sites, and these can be visited actually throughout the whole visit, but obviously this cannot be done in 1 or 2 days. You would need to have more time, but if I would suggest something, it is definitely to go to Hölöke village or to Pannonhalma Abbey. And now you remember that we had some quiz questions yesterday, so I will continue with the quiz time today, but this will be for a little bit of Google, because I would like to point out that in Budapest there is the second oldest metro in Europe. The first one was in London, and then Budapest metro opened, and it's up to you to Google when this was. And meanwhile, I will tell you something about the large capacity restaurants in Hungary. We can offer you obviously local food in the large capacities. We have got the restaurants that are of course small, and they will be able to fit only let's say 30 or 40 people, so kind of very private, but we also can cover the large groups. The capacities per restaurant in Budapest are about 300 people to feed at the same time in one of the restaurants. Or at the Danube Bend River, as I have mentioned, the restaurant with the medieval clothing, there we can fit about 400 people at the same time. If we are talking about Balaton, which is the sea of Central Europe, we have got the capacities of about 200 people at the same time. Or then if you travel a little bit further away into the countryside, we are talking about, again, 200 people at the same time. So the capacities, large capacities are there, so we really can accommodate any type of the group. If we are talking about Asian restaurants, then again, exactly as yesterday I've mentioned in Czech Republic, the same is actually for Hungary. We do have Asian fusion restaurants, so they are, I would say, more of European style, but Asian food, so a little bit modern Asian way, but we also can offer you real, authentic, either Chinese, Indian, or or Vietnamese cuisine. We can offer also halal. Obviously, not every restaurant offers halal meal, but we can provide that. If we are talking about low budget restaurants, then again, the capacities are quite large. Into these low budget restaurants, we can also involve the folklore performance, which is very specific for Central Europe. Again, we can even provide you a cheap gala dinner if you have got large group for the incentives to include it together with the folklore. And these are the capacity of about 200 people. If you are talking high-end, so then there is actually the Michelin restaurant with 2 stars. I think it's the only one in Central Europe that has got the capacity of 30 people. Obviously, very well requested. So if you want to book your group there, please do let us know in advance quite a lot, because the bookings run very quickly. But then also we have got just regular Michelin, 1-star Michelin restaurant, and Michelin recommended. So again, the choice is quite large. And then another question is coming. I believe you do know what is the national spice of Hungary. I believe it is quite recognizable from this picture, but I would also like to mention that if we are talking about the food, paprika chicken is something you definitely should not miss when you are in Hungary. And actually, it gave you a little bit of clue what is the national spice in Hungary. If we are talking about the activities, then yes, spa. Spa is definitely the option. We can provide you the regular spa, we can provide you the Turkish spa, but we also can provide you some privatization spa if you need it. Obviously, it costs more, and the groups that we can fit there are about 80 people in total maximum. But if we are talking about the regular spa with regular opening, then yes, we can go into much bigger numbers. Beer bike, something for the beer lovers, but if you are actually going into both destinations, into Budapest and Prague, keep beer bike for Prague. And the reason is that in Budapest, you cannot do the beer bike in the city center anymore. You still can do it in one of the islands, but it's not as exciting as in Prague. So in such case, if you have a choice of these 2 countries, definitely stay in Prague. But if you cannot, we still can provide it for you in Hungary. We can also provide you some tuk-tuks with the capacities of about 60 people at the same time maximum. Horse show, as I have already mentioned, and definitely please do not forget cruises, because really it's a very unique experience. If we are talking about some fun, and I have mentioned that beer bike is something that I would more advise you to do in Prague, then in Budapest, you definitely should try monster rollers. This is again something that is more of to relax during the sightseeing, so you don't walk for too long, and is definitely safer than the segways. Please do remember that segways you cannot do in the city center anymore, exactly as the beer bike, but monster rollers you can. If you have never heard about the monster rollers before, it's the picture on the top left. Then we also can provide you some team building activities. We can allow you to paint the cars. That's the picture in the middle, the Trabant old cars. This is the workshop for many different types of groups, and also for the size of the groups, but usually we advise 3 to 5 people per car. Estimate about 2 hours for this workshop. If you are early waker and you would like to experience some hot air balloons, this is again something we can provide about 1 hour away from Budapest, so subject to weather, but bear in mind that you will need to wake up early. Last time we did it in this time of the year, in the middle of June, we really had to have 4 o'clock departure, but definitely it was worth it, and for me it was one of the most beautiful experiences in the whole world, in whole of my life. And then if we are talking about the food, then goose liver workshop is something you should either experience or at least to bring the goose liver back from Hungary because it's very specific for Hungary, or then if you are into the pottery, then Herent pottery, either the workshop or again as a souvenir you can bring from Hungary. If you are talking about high teas, so then the world's most beautiful restaurant for high tea is apparently in Hungary. It's called New York Cafe, and I guarantee you that the picture you can see there doesn't show its real beauty. It's really wow. It's in one of the hotels in Budapest, and now it's again open to the groups, at least us as Kuoni Tumlare, we can provide you the bookings, even though it's not for every agent. So if you want to experience such beautiful high tea, which is the must, I would say in Budapest, then do contact your sales representative in your particular countries. And the quiz time, try to Google, or maybe I can tell you, no, I won't tell you because it's a quiz. I have mentioned that the name of the most beautiful cafe in the world is New York Cafe, and your homework is to find out at what hotel you can find this cafe. If we are talking about the shopping, so then yes, we do have the outlets and we do have the brands. The outlet is located not in Budapest, but a little bit outside of Budapest, but still reasonable driving there. The shopping for the high-end brands is definitely something you can do within the city center. And if you are talking about the souvenirs, then definitely paprika chicken, the spice is something you should bring. It has got actually two tastes, the sweet and the spicy. So it's up to you what you prefer the most. And also, I'm not sure whether you knew that the Rubik's Cube was actually discovered in Hungary. So this is again something you should bring. And if you have got the incentive group, this is something we can personalize with the logo. The logo would be on the white side. And yes, Rubik Cubes will come as a whole package, not mixed as it is on the picture, but it will really have the colors of the sizes. If we are talking about the mice in Hungary, then we can fit about 1,000 people into one of the historical venues. For the folklore, we can do about 650. Of course, if we are talking about historical venues, you really need to count with a higher budget. For folklore, we can do something for a little bit cheaper. For the dinner cruises, the capacity is a maximum of about 250 people, and the cruising is actually on the picture middle picture on the bottom. It's a beautiful venue, beautiful boat, and you actually can bring some music in. On the top you have got the terrace where you can have drinks. You can have drinks or maybe welcome drinks or some speeches, and really in the evening on the Danube River is just one amazing gala dinner. I can guarantee you that. If you are talking about our past tours, our references, I have actually mentioned this tour yesterday, but as it is from Budapest, I will mention that again. This was 3.5 weeks on site of 850 people. We have provided 700 hot air balloons, and we have rented the private airport where we brought the Lamborghini and Tesla cars. We had some skydiving there, paintball, and the gala dinner was actually handled in one of the historical venues where we brought in the locomotive with the CEO, which was very impressive and definitely a wow factor you can also bring maybe for some of your incentive groups. For our clients, we're talking about high-end clients like automotives like Lexus or Volvo. We do have the experience with finance and insurance, but also with the different companies, like for example cosmetics or others. So do let us know. Again, if you have got particular incentive group, I prefer to prepare it particularly for a group. So I don't want to tell you this is the itinerary, you do this, but it's always nice to have personalized incentive movement for each of your groups. And now I will actually return the word back to Christina, and then we will continue with Slovakia, first for the hotels and then for the services.
Thank you, Lucia. Okay, can you see my screen? Okay,
Yes, we
great.
can.
So Slovakia is a very small country, but I think it has a lot to offer. In this presentation, I will focus on the capital, Bratislava only, but I'm sure Lucia will give you some other advice as well. Um, Bratislava is called a little big city because it's a fairly small capital in terms of the size, but it has a really nice location, and we can offer you really good hotel alternatives depending on the preference and the budget of the groups. The first hotel I'm highlighting is the Crown Plaza Bratislava, which is located very close to the city center. Actually, it's already in the center, but if you would like to reach a very touristic part of the city, then it's like a maximum 10 minutes walk from this hotel. They have fairly enough twin rooms for the groups. They are very experienced with the Asian market, and I think they are providing really excellent service for the clients. In case you are looking for a little bit more budget option, then Hotel Bratislava is my recommendation. It's a 4-star hotel. It's located suburbs. So it's a better choice for the groups which don't have a free time. They are also very experienced. They have a lot of twin rooms, and actually Bratislava is very much a corporate city, so they are very experienced with events, meetings. So please be confident to send them some nice requests as well. In terms of the third hotel choice, it's Lindergalle Central, which is the newest hotel in town. It's also a 4-star category, and it's located right next to a shopping center. So very handy for the clients if they would like to pick up some things from the supermarket or some souvenirs as well. They have 222 rooms. What is maybe less visible on the picture, which I would like to, just enlarge, is that, yeah, I won't be able to do it now, but in terms of the rooms, as you can see, the bathroom is fairly open, so I suggested for the groups which are less concerned, it still can be closed. However, it's more integrated into the room than in some other hotels. In terms of the destination itself, as I mentioned already, it's a very much a business city. There are a lot of car companies in Slovakia. So that's why majority of the clients in Bratislava are these companies. They do a lot of meetings, and for this reason, the hotels prefer more the weekend stays for the groups, and we can also provide you lower rates in case of Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights. In Bratislava, there are no big events planned for 2020, and at the moment, there is also no congresses planned for 2021 yet. Unfortunately, no new openings are planned for now. And I have to mention that the previous Austria Trend Hotel is closed down totally, and it will be renovated and rebranded to an AC Marriott property. Unfortunately, we don't know because of the pandemic how the reopening will happen and when. So I will keep you updated on this later on. And now I would like to give the word back to Lucia, who will give you updates on the land services.
Thank you very much. So I will continue sharing my screen. So welcome to Slovakia. Yes, welcome to the Slovakia, which I would say is a new destination for Asian groups and definitely also for some European, let's be honest, because it is quite a small country and it is somehow missed for, I don't know why, but let's try to promote it and maybe let's be the first one who will bring also some groups from your areas. Definitely, I would like to point out that Slovakia is rich either naturally or culturally. It has got only the size of 49,000 square meters, kilometers, so it's quite small, and the population is smaller actually than it is in Hanoi or in Bangkok or in Ho Chi Minh. It is only about 5 million people in total. About 500,000 live in Bratislava, and then the rest is spread in the small towns throughout the whole country. As you can see on the map, it is covered with the ideas UNESCO is actually offering, and it is on UNESCO list. It has got in total 17 recommendations. Some of them are UNESCO rated already, but some of them are on the waiting list. We can divide them into two, and those would be the natural sites that are, for example, the caves, either argonite caves or ice caves, but also we have got very specific forests that are untouched for 100 years, something you can see how the nature was in even medieval times. And then if we are talking about the cultural suggestions, then we have got amazing town centers that are actually registered already under UNESCO. We do have the wooden churches and also the castles. Why I'm saying we? Because actually I am coming from Slovakia myself, so it's also my pleasure to introduce you this country. And even though I've been living abroad for 20 years, I still think that Slovakia is just one of the most beautiful countries in the world. Also, I would like to point out that 70% of Slovakians are registered as Roman Catholics, and this is why it is also very important for pilgrimage. I would be brave enough to say that it is as important for pilgrimage tours as it is, for example, Poland or Italy. If you do have some pilgrimage sites, we can, pilgrimage groups, we can provide you with some itineraries. Just feel free to contact us for that. And I would like to point out that if you are not coming to Slovakia, this is what you are going to miss. You're going to miss beautiful mountains. We have got high Tatras mountains that are actually called also the small Alps. The peaks with the view, they are just unforgettable. Then you're going to miss the castles. You can see one of the castles on the bottom left, and again I would maybe compare the castles of Slovakia to the castles on the river of Rhone in France. We also do have very unique churches, like for example the Blue Church in Bratislava, but we also have got the villages that maybe elsewhere in the world would be called as open-air museums already, but they are definitely not a museum in Slovakia because people still do live there. So if you are going there, you are going to experience the real history. You see the people in the costumes, still in the folklore clothes, usually old people doing the things that were done maybe 200 years ago as well. And then also you're going to miss the arts. If I can mention one of them, it's the wooden Bethlehems, and those are either connected to a religion, so this is the real Bethlehem as we know it with baby Jesus, but also the Bethlehems done by connected to Slovakia as a country. These can be seen in some UNESCO sites, but also some of them are registered as the national treasure. So some of them are huge, some of them are meters long. So definitely something you should see when you are in Slovakia. If I want to go particularly into the excursions, then yes, but if you just want to stay in Bratislava, then you should definitely consider to do some excursion also outside from Bratislava. We have got two big castles and important castles. One of them is coming back 1,200 years ago. It was built in at around the year of 800. It is called Devin Castle, and also another one is coming to medieval times, so about 800 years ago, and this one is called Červený Kámen. Both of these are about 30 minutes away from Bratislava, so very easy to visit. And also, I would like to point out actually at one very funny thing about Bratislava, and it is the fact that this is the only capital in the world that has got 3 borders, because Bratislava is bordering 3 countries, of course Slovakia, but also Hungary and Austria in the same place. So basically, many people who work in Bratislava live in the villages already in other country, in either Austria or in Hungary. If we are talking about longer trips around Slovakia, then you either can do 3 or 5 days. In 3 days, you can visit some UNESCO sites. Well, you will start in Bratislava, then you continue through Banská Štiavnica to the overnight in Banská Bystrica, and then you continue towards the east of Slovakia up to Prešov, and from here you either can travel to Budapest or to Poland. Both of them are very similar distance, so you can join another country here. Also, I would like to point out, as if I was talking about Tokaj earlier, then this is very close to East Slovakia, so it's also nice to stay in Tokaj region and then continue to Budapest for further sightseeing. And also, yeah, definitely, as I have mentioned, the nature, High Tatras, it is something where you can either do the real tracks, but also you can just do the simple walks with the trainers or in the sandals even in the summer, and you can experience the peaks of the mountains as you can see them in Alps. You also can see the castles, as I have already mentioned. This is one of the most beautiful ones, the fairy tale castle of Bojnice, but also these rural villages, as for example you can see at the picture on the right. This is actually my hometown. This is where I was born, and I'm very proud to say that there are still 7 people living in this village, even though the most of the people already moved into the town which is nearby. But if you are coming here, and this is the UNESCO site, you will still see the village well, where people go to take the water because they don't have any water in the houses. You really can see old grandmas and grandpas of our children, you know, going in the folklore clothes, and again, it is in the mountains, and it's one of the most beautiful places also in Slovakia, and that is the reason actually why it is on UNESCO list. So the options are so many options there. We can talk about the mountains, we can talk about the caves and the castles. I would like to point out that Slovakia is very beautiful in the nature. Okay, I cannot confirm Bratislava to Budapest or to Prague or to Vienna, because these cities are historically were always rich, but and they brought the money, they built the beautiful sightseeing or tourist attractions there for now. But definitely, if you are thinking of the nature, that can be actually a very good point also for after COVID travel. Then definitely go to Slovakia, because you will have space and you will have beautiful nature sites there. Let's talk about the eating. Well, there's so much you can try in Slovakia, and kapusnica or the sauerkraut soup, our Christmas dish, is something you should try as the starter. Then it also can be brinzové halušky, sheep cheese with dumplings. That is actually a very traditional food, mainly in the region of the north, and the milk there was made more from sheep than from cows. So we do have a lot of food used from sheep or made from sheep cheese. If we are talking about the main dishes, then goose is something you should try, mainly if you are coming in the autumn season. Goose feast is everywhere, and definitely something very tasty and good experience. And then if you are talking about the dessert, yes, you can try apple strudel exactly as you can do it in either Hungary or in Austria, but then also you can try some local steamed dumplings, for example, that can be filled either with poppy seeds or with some nuts or even with some jam, or also a little bit different type of local apple dessert, and that is called žemlovka. And this is the quiz time number 1 for Slovakia. And as I have already mentioned about the sheep cheese, we do have also the soup that is made from the potatoes and the sheep cheese, and your homework will be to find out what's the name for this soup. If you are talking about the Asian restaurants, then definitely there is something to offer, mainly in Bratislava. In my life, I lived in Japan for 5 years, and if I can say that the best ramen restaurant in Central Europe is in Bratislava, I know what I'm talking about. So really, we can offer you very authentic food in Bratislava, Asian food, and this is either Vietnamese or Japanese or Chinese, but also Indian if that is necessary. Quiz number 2, quiz time number 2, or question number 2. If we are talking about the second largest city in Slovakia, what would it be? Your homework again, and I will move to activities. If we are talking about Bratislava, so then the main activities are definitely Prešporáčik train. That is the easy way how to do the sightseeing in Bratislava. This is also very pedestrian. But then we also can have a little bit of fun, either with a beer bike again, or some bike riding, or some spas. Either beer spas we can provide, or also we can do the historical sightseeing, or different type of sightseeing on the historical cars that are coming from Skoda factory. And this is very specific because funnily enough, even though that's the picture actually on the bottom left, and even though these cars are coming from Czech Republic historically, you cannot have the regular sightseeing in the city of Prague on this, but you can have it in Bratislava. So definitely, if you are there, do experience it, because it really is fun. If we are talking about the activities around High Tatras, then this would be obviously connected to the mountains. Then what you can do, you can experience the cable car up to the highest peak in Slovakia. You can experience some brewery or distillery visits that are actually located directly in Poprad. You can experience the spa. For example, in Štrbské Pleso in High Tatras, there is the Hotel Kempinski, very high-end hotel, and it has got the most beautiful spa with the view at the peaks of High Tatras. Just amazing. Of course, expensive, but definitely a nice experience to experience if you have got high-end groups. We also can take you into some open-air real museums, so where you can experience also some workshops together with the local people, or just you can do the regular hiking. As I have mentioned already at the beginning, the hiking can be either just in the sandals, very simple, for 45 minutes. But if you have got a touristy group or some active group, so then yes, they can do the hiking in the real Tatras region as well. And also I would like to point out that one very important activity, and that is the soft rafting on the wooden boats, as you can see it in the middle picture on the right, and this is again through the scenery of High Tatras. So definitely something you should not miss when you are here. And then the question number 3 for the quiz: what is the highest peak in Slovakia? Again, very easy to Google, and I can tell you that it is a little bit over 2,600 meters above the sea level. So you can see that it's really like if you were in Alps. If we are talking about the shopping, then I would like to point out at Pandorf, which is the best shopping for outlets in Central Europe. Yes, it is located in Austria, but it is only 30 minutes away from Bratislava. And these are all the brands you can buy here for the reduced or outlet prices. So this is probably the group for every for every Asian group that is coming to the region. They stop by in Pandorf, and just because many of the flights even to Slovakia would land in Vienna, that is literally 45 minutes away from Bratislava, we still can add it to your trip after visiting Slovakia on the way to the airport for your flight. And if we are talking about the souvenir, then again you can bring some local food experience, like for example smoked cheese, or the dolls made from the corn leaves, as I mentioned already at the beginning of this part about Slovakia, but also some specific jewelry that is made from the pewter. I'm not sure whether you know this type of steel, but it's just beautiful, and definitely something for the ladies that they would remember from the local Slovakian trip. So this would be everything from me, and now I will hand over my word to my colleagues in Poland, and they will present the Poland part.
Thank you, Luciana. And also now it will be the Poland part. We understand that today a little bit longer because we include 3 countries together. So maybe bear with us. And then I do believe that the Poland session will go through it very, very beautiful as well. Thank you.
Okay, so as we start with the hotels with all the countries, let me start with the hotels in Poland. My name is Liliana and I'm responsible for contracting hotels in Poland. So I will just now try to share my screen with you. And yes, so when it comes to hotels in Poland, Poland was not that popular when it comes to tourism as Austria, Germany, Hungary, or any other, let's say, Western or Central European country. I would say that it may be as Slovakia. It was not that possible, but it's booming now. So we, of course, have many new hotel openings nowadays in Poland. Actually, every year there are at least a few hotels open. So what we have contracted in Poland is over 70 hotels that we have contracts with, almost 300 rooms on allotment daily in Warsaw only, so only in the capital of Poland, over 140 in Kraków, which is like the second most popular city in Poland, maybe even the first, maybe even beats Warsaw. And we also have allotments in Wrocław. When it comes to the new openings, of course, we have some individual hotels being open. We have many chains that open new hotels in Poland. And one of the very significant opening that will happen in August this year is Nobu Hotel. It will open in Warsaw, and it will be the first Nobu hotel in Central and Eastern Europe. I don't know if you know the brand. It is the one that is being very much promoted by Robert De Niro, for example. So, as I said, we have over 70 signed contracts in Poland. Here you can see a map with some small updates from specific cities like Warsaw, Kraków, also the Tatra Mountains, Zakopane, Wrocław, Poznań, Gdańsk, and the Tri-City area. And of course, we have many more hotels contracted in other cities and towns of Poland, in the countryside, in Mazurian Lake District. So actually, wherever you want to go in Poland, we do have, probably do have some contracted partners there. Allotment summary, again, just to give you an idea, almost 300 rooms, as I mentioned, in Warsaw, in 14 hotels, 7 hotels with allotment in Kraków, and 3 hotels in Wrocław. When it comes to the COVID-19 situation and the impact it has on hotels in Poland, well, all the hotels were closed, actually. The government did this, but they were allowed to reopen since May the 4th. So most of the hotels are already reopened. Of course, some of them are not yet. Most of the ones that are not open yet will open in July or the end of June, so pretty soon as well. And now the restaurants in the hotels are also open. Mostly served meals are only available. Some of the hotels offer buffets, but it's more complicated due to the new sanitary regulations. Hotels usually can only take twice as many guests as they have rooms for now with those regulations. It means that we cannot really offer triple, quadruple, or any other rooms. We have only doubles, singles, and twins for now. Of course, it changes all the time. Pools, fitness centers, spa facilities, everything can be reopened already, and most of the hotels did it, of course, with the new sanitary regime and regulations. Like, for example, less people can enter the swimming pool. There are hand sanitizers everywhere. Of course, they're also available in visible public spaces like elevators, reception desk, and then toilets. Rooms are carefully disinfected. They also should be ventilated or ozonized. Everything in the hotels needs to be disinfected very carefully. So, like, for example, the most let's say touched things like handrails, doorknobs, public telephones, they need to be sanitized every hour. For now, there is a rule that rooms in the hotels will not be cleaned every single day for the groups that stay longer than one night, unless it is requested. Of course, the cleaning personnel must wear masks and the other personnel as well. So these are the most important rules in the hotels for now. I will now go through a few of our key partners in Poland, a few individual hotel sites. So we start with Warsaw and Sheraton Grand Hotel. It was actually fully renovated last year. It was closed for some time, so they renovated everything. The restaurant, they have one of the best Asian restaurants in the hotel as well, because they have a few different restaurants, and one of them is let's say like Japanese restaurant, a really good one. So the hotel was fully renovated. It is located in a city center, but still really close to some parks in Warsaw, so in a really nice area. We also have an exclusive allotment in this hotel, so we have really good cooperation and usually no problem with the space. 4 stars, one of the hotels that we work closely with is DoubleTree by Hilton. It is not located in the very city center. It's like 12 kilometers from the city center, but it's located in a very beautiful and green area. It is one of the few actually hotels in the city that has such huge, let's say, spa and pool facilities. They have a few pools, they have a beautiful garden, a restaurant that also has a terrace in that garden. So it's a perfect example of a hotel that is in the city, but really good for relax, for example, after a long flight. And we also have an exclusive allotment in this hotel. They also have a really impressive nice venue. So if you need like conference rooms or anything, I think this is one of the best choices in Warsaw. And also one of our good 4-star partners located quite closer to the airport, I would say. It's Arche Hotel Krakowska. It is one of the newest hotels. It was opened at the end of 2018. So it's really modern and clean. And actually, just a good standard for a really good price, because it's also one of the cheapest 4-star hotels in Warsaw. Going to Kraków, one of the partners we always like to mention is Metropolo by Golden Tulip Kraków. It is also a hotel that is not located in the city center, but if you have an excursion to Wieliczka salt mine, for example, in the very morning next day, then it's a great choice because it's located closer to Wieliczka, but still not that far from the city center, from the old town of Kraków. It is also quite a new hotel, also opened at the end of 2018. As I said, we have many openings nowadays. A really nice hotel with a slight Chinese touch. They also offer some let's say Asian food in their restaurant, because as Metropolo is a Chinese brand, then of course they have that touch. And one of the very centrally located hotels in Kraków is Mercure Old Town. It is located right next to the central railway station, really close to the Old Town. It has quite a unique design because it's connected to the paintings that you can find in Wawel Castle. So you can find some of the replicas in this hotel. Really good standard. Of course, it's slightly more expensive than Metropolo, for example, just because of the location, but also the standard. They have a really good restaurant. They are like a walking distance from the Old Town. So it is also good for the groups that don't use the coach that much, that have like sightseeing in the Old Town and around. So it's really easy to get to the hotel back. And then, of course, we have many other five-star hotels in Krakow and good ones like Sheraton or Radisson. But this is the one that I always like to mention. It is Crown Piast Hotel and Park. It is also located like 6 kilometers from the city center. It is, I would say, not the very modern five-star hotel. It is rather a classical one. However, it is really beautifully located. You can see some pictures of their garden. They have huge and really well-maintained garden and an outside pool. They have many different type of saunas in this hotel. And this is a great option if you need a very budget five-star hotel en route, because this hotel actually has rates comparable to four-star hotels, even though it is a five-star. And we also have an allotment in this hotel, so it's always easy to get space. Going to Gdańsk, the very north of Poland, Baltic Sea, one of our partners there is Focus Premium Hotel. It is located around 5 kilometers from Gdańsk Old Town, but at the same time closer to the beach and closer to Oliwska Cathedral that we usually have in the itinerary for Gdańsk. Really, it's also quite a new hotel, quite fresh and modern. So, and also one of the cheapest ones when it comes to 4 stars in Gdańsk, as Gdańsk is usually quite expensive because it's also very popular for Polish tourists, especially in the summer. Then Poznań, Western Poland. Poznań is often considered like to be en route to Berlin from Warsaw, for example. One of our best partners there is Nowotel Centrum Poznań. It is located in the very city center, very close to the railway station as well as the old town. And right next to the hotel, there is one of the very unique shopping centers in Poland, which was created in the old brewery. So it also looks really nice. And Wrocław, also Western Poland. It is often chose like as a city en route to Prague or Vienna or also Germany because it's quite close to the border. One of the most popular cities in Poland as well, called City of Dwarfs. You might have heard about this. So one of our partners there is, again, Nowotel Wrocław Centrum, located in the very city center, really close to the railway station. We have an exclusive allotment in this hotel and we have a really good cooperation. So actually, whenever we need something special prepared, they're always open to do so. It is a combo hotel, which means that a few first floors are reserved for the Ibis 3-star hotel, and the top is a 4-star Novotel hotel. Of course, we have many other hotels in all those cities in Poland that are contracted, that have allotments that we have really good relationship with, but it would take like forever to mention them all, so it would be everything from my side. If there would be any questions, then I am here or I will be available via email. Thank you very much.
Hello, thank you, Lila. Hi guys, my name is Anna. Great welcome from sunny Warsaw today. Thanks very much for your patience, for those who stayed for the last part of Poland. So let us start with our country. And from the very beginning. Our local regional manager, Mr. Łukasz, who's sending you all best wishes, currently undergoing a little surgery, but his spirit is with us. Our Kłoni Warsaw office is located in the capital, in Warsaw City. We are here since 2010, still growing. So we are all Polish experts in travel and trips organizing. Have a look where Poland is, in the very center of Europe, surrounded by 7 other countries with Tatra Mountains on the south and Baltic Sea on north. This is the country number 9 in Europe as far as land extension. So it's a very pretty big country, apt for a mono tour or mono destination as well. So you can have a closer look on a map where the Warsaw is, almost in the very center. The most famous Polish attractions and city are located south in Kraków. I'll talk also about Zakopane in Tatra Mountains. You can see this bordering with Slovakia, Czech Republic, Wrocław, and going north, Poznań and Gdańsk, so-called Tri-City, because actually you can see the 3 different cities, but together as one on the Baltic Sea. So it's very easy access to other European countries via air, train, coach, or even sea that connected us with Scandinavia. So closer look from Warsaw, you can combine it easily with the Baltics. To Vilnius, capital of Lithuania, it takes around 8 hours by coach. To Berlin, Germany, 7 hours. Then from Kraków, South Poland, to Hungary, Austria, Slovakia, Czech Republic, it's all within a 1 day ride by coach. Poland is also an air hub, so it means you can reach different destinations by plane. But talking about traveling within the country, that I said the number 9 in Europe as far as the land extension, so it's pretty convenient. Use a coach or a fast-speed bullet train. You can see from Warsaw to western Poland, it's 3 hours 40. From Warsaw to south to Kraków, it's less than 2.5 hours. From Warsaw to Gdańsk, a seaside, it's more than 500 kilometers and 3.5 hours. From Kraków to Gdańsk, which means from the very south Poland to the very north, it's only 5.5 hours in that high-speed internet-equipped train. There's also a restaurant wagon, and we do it pretty frequently with our Japanese clients, so some Asia clients doing Kraków-Warsaw transfer using the bullet train. So the luggage goes by coach, and our clients, they transfer conveniently from Warsaw to Kraków, traveling light with only personal belongings. They get off in Kraków city. The old town is only a stone throw away from the central station, so it's just a walking distance to do the walking tour around Kraków UNESCO old town. And in the meantime, the coach brings the luggage to the hotel. So it's pretty convenient solution to travel fast. Poland is 16 UNESCO heritage sites, the majority of them located south, although they're spread all around the country. So starting with capital, Warsaw, with the brand modern skyscraper skyline to the UNESCO Old Town, UNESCO site, Old Town. Warsaw is also the place strictly linked to Frédéric Chopin, one of the most recognized piano composers. He was born in the vicinity of Warsaw in Żelazowa Wola, and there are some places linked to his life in the Polish capital as well. Historical palaces, although Warsaw was heavily destroyed during the Second World War, 85% of the city was gone, 90% of the old town, the old Warsaw, was destroyed. 2 lovely venues, Palace on the Water, upper picture, and Wilanów Palace, a 17th century building, survived. So both of them also can be used as a nice venue. Imagine a Chopin piano recital in that palace on the water. So anyways, it's a pricey venue, but for a mice from top-end groups available, we also organize the regular private Chopin piano recitals in a city center. World-class museums refer to Second World War, to the Jews' history, or as you can see left side, a vodka museum. You can engage your group on a food tour, and this is pretty interesting, tasting included. Get to know Warsaw better on different ways. Embark on a Vistula cruise. You can have a ride on old-timer vehicles from communist time era, or hop on a vintage tram. This refers to like a premium groups, or maybe some ideas for your MICE groups. If you got more time, you can do an itinerary in Warsaw outskirts, visit shop and birthplace, enjoy home-hosted lunch with a family organized in an old bishop's palace. Now also visit for religious groups. There's a lot. Poland is land of saints. So St. Maximilian Kolbe, he was killed in Auschwitz, but he worked in Niepokalanów monastery close to Warsaw. He also established Franciscan missions in Japan, Nagasaki, Hiroshima. So a well-known character, character in Asia as well. Talking about the Second World War, it's an inevitable topic in Poland. From Warsaw, we can organize half-day tour to Treblinka, one of the biggest extermination camps, not very well known abroad, but it's like a second biggest after Auschwitz, and a full-day tour to Majdanek concentration camps, one of the best preserved in the country. There's a lot of shopping opportunities as well. More than 220 commercial centers in Poland. In Warsaw, you can enjoy top-end shopping centers, as well as outlets, designer outlets, like Lower Picture shows. It looks like a tiny village. You can enjoy your shopping. It's all duty-free. You can get your tax refund upon leaving Poland. A lot of restaurants, all the colors, all the flavors, Indian restaurants, Asian restaurants, European restaurants. Unfortunately, halal restaurants are not easy to spot. We do not offer that feature. That this is a pretty complex theme, can be arranged with a lot of troubles, but we cannot promise anything on that topic. Anyway, you can enjoy the gourmet restaurants for your top-end clients with Michelin star Atelier Amaro. It's one Michelin star Atelier Amaro restaurant, and we got second Michelin star restaurant with Senses, also in Warsaw. No 2 or 3 Michelin star restaurants in Poland so far, hoping for it soon. Let's move down to the southern Poland, to magic city of Krakow with a dragon, its symbol. The whole city is on the UNESCO list. There's a museum, Czartoryski, with one of the most famous Leonardo da Vinci paintings. Watch out now with the COVID situation. The majority of the museums, they cut down on the number of participants in a groups. So due to the social distancing, we are obliged to maintain 2 meters distance. We cover faces with a mask while outdoors, while indoors, let's say outdoors, it's free. It's a free walking, so we don't know yet. Some of the museums are shut down for the moment. They will be reopened soon, and the new regulations will be issued. So whenever we got the COVID information, my colleague Natalia is updating Bitrix with a COVID situation, so stay tuned. From Krakow, it's only 1 hour away, a coach ride to the Auschwitz, the biggest and best known former Nazi concentration camp, and Wieliczka salt mine, magnificent underworld with its corridors and chambers, everything made in salt. On the picture you can see the church, Santa Kinga's chapel, where actually it's still a living church. You can get married there even if you wish with a prior reservation. But there's a lovely, our Kłoni office, Warsaw office, just to spill a beans with you. We were given a Grand Prix prize from Wieliczka for the best co-worker, for the best partner in business for the whole 2019 season. So we celebrated in a ball, in a very elegant event in the mine, 300 meters below earth surface. So Łukasz and the whole team, our team, celebrated the Grand Prix prize. In Krakow, we also got Indian flavors and Asian restaurants like Chinese Palace, Beijing. There are contracts. We got contracts with sign up with them. But we also encourage clients to try Polish local food like pierogi, for example. This is a kind of ravioli stuffed thing, and must try while in Poland. And Western restaurants, starting with top-end Wierzynek to the middle range. All the contracts are signed by us from Warsaw. We know them all. We know all the suppliers personally. We established long-lasting relationships. I used to work as a tour guide myself for 8 years, as a local guide in Warsaw. Along with my colleagues and Łukasz, our manager, we know everyone we should know in Poland to tailor-made unforgettable experience for your groups. There's also a religious part. We can visit places related to Pope John Paul II, for famous Polish personnel. And while you would like to escape from hustle and bustle of big cities, you got them all in Asia, you may consider visiting smaller villages and do the ethnical tour. UNESCO wooden churches or painted villages, it's something that will spice up your itinerary and differentiate it from your competencies, so it's something different. Visit also Zakopane. It's a winter capital of Poland, full of folklore, people wearing folk clothes, surrounded with mountains. There's a lot of going on there. Funiculars, a Krupówki pedestrian street is more than 1 kilometer long, walk packed with local craft shop, horse rides, local specialties like sheep smoked cheese. Everything can be done in Zakopane in the south. Poland, nature spotting as well. Have a look on that beauty. Also rafting, it's suitable for all ages. It's not a super adventure, but very relaxed, beautiful stroll. And the Highlanders are doing all the dirty, wet jobs. Tourists are only enjoying and relaxing. Less known parts of Poland cover east border with our Renaissance spots, but also don't forget about the West, Wrocław, with its Centennial Hall on the UNESCO side, a city of dwarf, a little Venice. Like those in Italy, you cannot, Italy right now was hit hard, but little Venice, it's Wrocław. It's a lot of rivers and bridges around the city. Close proximity to Wrocław characterized itself by churches of peace, yet again UNESCO side. Bolesławiec, a city of ceramics, that is one of the preferred souvenir that you can bring from Poland. It's not like super crunchy, it's durable in a lovely local patterns. Central Poland cover Poznań with its fantastic art and business center, state-of-art shopping center, started in Browar. It's an old brewery bought by the richest lady in Poland and turned into that magnificent spot. We are moving towards north, towards the Baltic Sea, towards seaside. The most outstanding spots there is the Tri-City, the three cities, Gdańsk, Gdynia and Sopot. So as you can imagine, a lot of action to do. It's a historic Hanseatic cities that stands for its architectural beauty and also a local flavors like Goldwasser, golden water, a strong liquor with small flakes of 23-karat gold. And Gdańsk is suitable for history enthusiasts. It's nice to spend some time on a wooden galleon, visit the place Westerplatte Peninsula when the Second World War broke out. And there's a lovely World War II museum. If you got a little bit more time, in 2 hours, you can have that history lesson in an admirable and inspiring way that's presented. I saw this year, last year, 2019, I saw the exhibition. It's jaw-dropping. Sopot, one of those tri-cities, is Poland's beloved spa with lovely white beaches, with with Europe's longest wooden pier, and shopping paradise. Yet again, pedestrian street packed with shopping opportunities. From Gdańsk, we can offer the half and full day history trips. Half-day trip to Stutthof, where the ex-Nazi concentration camp was organized, a full-day excursion to the right side of the slide. Wolf's Lair, Hitler's former headquarters, when the attempt to kill Adolf Hitler was conveyed but failed. So those are historic cities. On the way to Wolf's Lair, you were cross land of lakes. This is the Masurian Lakes area. The groups are coming from Warsaw to the Baltics, or from the Baltics, Estonia, Lithuania, Lithuania, towards Poland. They cross this beautiful nature land of lakes. Half-day excursion from Gdańsk will bring you to Malbork. It's the biggest brick-made Teutonic castle in Poland. So it's medieval time tourist attraction, and is only a stone throw away to Turin, the city of Copernicus, one of the most famous astronomers, who said it's the Earth running, evolving around the sun, and not the other way around that the contemporary felt. So it's also a UNESCO Hanseatic city. Local bread, sweet bread, it's a gingerbread. We can engage our tourists into a gingerbread workshops. Masurian Lake District, I mentioned, is for relaxation. So we also do the specialized business, not only volume tours, but ad hoc premium mice, private tours, shop and piano contest every 5 years. Unfortunately for this year, 2020 is postponed for the next year, but we are keeping an eye on it. We are one of the exclusive ticket agents as well, so it's pretty difficult to get those, and thanks to our preference, we can enjoy this venue for our clients. Have a look on the gala dinner venues. It's only a teaser, but can be arranged in the Royal Castle or else in the high building. It's a palace of culture and science, a symbol of the communist era in Poland. But it's a lovely. I participated myself in all those venues. It's truly stunning. As far as the interesting itineraries, theme itineraries are concerned, we got everything. Pilgrimages, it's a land of John Paul II, of the Black Madonna, of St. Maximilian Kolbe, a martyr that was killed in Auschwitz. There's a program, Poland in a nutshell. All the programs can be tailor-made, of course. This is one of the ideas. Poland is big enough to organize 6, 7, 8-day mono-destination tour, starting in, let's say, in the capital, Warsaw, going towards Krakow, doing some detour to Zakopane, visit Oświęcim, Wrocław, Poznań, Malbork and Tri-City. So as you can see, a lovely loop to be engaged, and you stay within one country. That could be pretty interesting to consider, especially in a COVID era. You don't cross any borders. You got a lot of action going on within one country only. We have no euro for the moment. It's a local currency, zloty, but you don't need to think about different currencies. Once you get to Poland, you can exchange money or pay credit card, no problem. You can explore lesser known Eastern Poland, including some historical sites, wooden villages, concentration camp in Lublin, and that's a transfer from Warsaw towards Krakow. That's not direct, that's indirect. You can avoid crowds choosing the lesser known Poland. Follow the footsteps of famous Polish people, Copernicus, Chopin, John Paul II, and Maria Skłodowska, born in Warsaw. She was the scientist that so far the only woman in the world that received 2 Nobel Prizes from chemistry and physics. So X-ray, it's thanks to her. You can bring a lot of lovely things, traditional gifts, starting with sweets, liquors, ceramics, laces, amber. The north of Poland, Gdańsk is now a city of amber. Salt cosmetics made of salt from Wieliczka, and so on and so forth. Surely a lot of opportunities to spend your money. Now, we got other attractions like steam power. You can ride a boat on the grass, so an repeatable experience. So basically, that is what Poland is all about, and thank you for your attention. Any question, any doubt, remember we are here, Polish team in Warsaw based, to assist you. Thank you so much, my pleasure.
Thank you so much, Anna. Thank you so much, Lucia, and also the team to join us today and also present whole countries in the area. So with this, even we understand that we go through a little bit over time, but actually I and also the team would love to get the question from you all from our 2 sessions regarding to Eastern Europe. So any concern, any question, or maybe you would like to deep dive in any city, any information, you can raise your question either in the chat box or maybe can unmute yourself and share with our team. So Actually, we also we understand that today's session is a little bit quite long. It takes about almost 2 hours. So maybe if you have any question later on, you also can bring to our team, or maybe you can reach out to any of us to sharing with you more information. And this is just a little bit remind, as I also sent into the chat box for all the destination survey. We also would love to hearing from you whether we can to improve our services or any services you needed from us as well. How about the, our destination presentation? So after you finish on the survey, you can find also the download link to download on the destination presentation that we already get back and already present to you all. So here and we have Nordic and Russia Baltics, and also for last 2-day session, Eastern Europe. And as well, maybe if you don't have like any question to us, so maybe let us bring some questions to you all with our fun quick. So maybe from all the presentation from yesterday to today. So Luciana, can you help me to select 3 questions? So we will choosing 3 winner for the prize. So our prize, the Starbucks coffee, will deliver to their office before our upcoming session. So maybe just give us support us with 3 questions. And then for the all participant, if you get the correct answer and also the soonest one, you will win our prize.
Okay, so shall I say the questions again?
Yes.
Okay.
So maybe one by one, please, so that we
Okay.
can choose.
So I will choose just 3, okay?
Yeah.
So the first question is, what is the second largest city in Slovakia?
Wow, very interesting.
There was a time to Google.
So we have 2 answers now. 4-6 from Bùi Ân and
Košice, well done. The second question will be about Hungary.
Sorry, Lucia. So we have the winner already, right?
Oh, okay.
The soonest one is Bùi Ân. Congratulations, Bùi Ân. And then we come with the second one.
Okay, the second question is the national spice of Hungary. Can you name it? Well, too easy probably. Well done. Right answers.
Well done. So congratulations and long once again for the second winner for today in our Eastern Europe fun quiz. We come in with the third question and the last one.
Can that be about Czech Republic?
Yes, or maybe Poland as well.
Okay, so then Poland, it has to be the girls. So I'll hand over the word to the girls in Poland.
Hi, all right, we prepared some multiple answer questions, but I can do it in a different way. All right, so what's the name of the sea that borders Poland?
Wow. Can you repeat the question once again? Oh, we have one.
Sea that borders Poland. Yeah, great, Larry. It's a Baltic Sea. That's why city lies on a Baltic Sea. Excellent. Oh. Good job, guys.
Yeah, so Baltic Sea is also the correct answer, and we would love to congratulations once again for all the winner. Our sales support will contact you to have the address and also to deliver copies, or maybe if you wish to change to cake or maybe couple teas or any drink, you can also order from our sales support. And we would love to see you once again for tomorrow's session, when we will go through very deeply in the Balkan area, which is also the neighbors, and also we can go through either I would understand that some agent and some of your client also would like to combine also Eastern Europe and somehow spend a little bit on the Balkan area. So we will present to you tomorrow. at 3 p.m. at same time. Thank you once again, Lucia, Christina, Anna, Liliana, and also the team to join us and also bearing very informative and also very detailed presentation. And I also would love to thank you for all the tour leaders and also all the agent and client to join us for today's session. And see you.
And hope to see you soon also.
Yeah, see you soon.
Thank you very much for all and see you soon here in Europe. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. See you
Bye.
soon.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.